What up? What up? It's Alex, the fantasy football hustler. We're back.
Yes, it is
Dr.
I. Yeah, and I'm Dr. Bogey, Harvard grad.
Yeah,
Dr. Lecter.
we are breaking down Child's Play. This is Act 2.
Last time on Silver Screen Breakdowns. Almost forgot.
We meet Andy. We meet Aunt Maggie. We meet Andy's mom, and we see Charles Lee Ray put his soul into this good guy's doll. And oh man, he's found a new home. It's with Mr. Andy Barclay.
And we gotta actually, this is kind of I just realized this. Aunt Maggie is she is victim numero uno.
Number one. We'll do
as Chucky, as the doll iteration of him.
We'll do a body count. All right.
The Lakeshore Strangler has obviously strangled.
Yeah, strangler, right? So I guess that's plural.
Right.
And he's a serial killer. That would entail what, more than 3, 2? What is that? What does it make you when you get to 3?
He's got to be in the double digits by now, right? Because he's already been like.
It's the ones that's reported is probably like, you know what I mean? Because at the same time too, when you watch the series, they open up the lore. Like him and Tiff used to just like kill for fun.
Yeah,
bringing like bitches and fucking. You know?
Yeah, they're wild. So the detective is explaining what happened, how Aunt Maggie fell out of a window, and there's little footprints on the countertop, but they said none of them match Andy's shoes. But he's got those onesies with the good guy sneakers on the bottom, and it's everything that they see on the countertop. No powder on his feet though. So his mom tells him, get back in there. And then he sees the powder on Chucky's feet. He goes and yells at him, I know who was on the counter. Who? Chucky. The doll. And then that's it. They shoo him back to the room. How come none of the detectives or anything saw anything on the doll? He's got like huge clumps of powder right on his feet.
I mean, I bet you here's the brilliant cop, the one who wants to like move up to detective one day. He's like, you know what, detective? I think the kid was taking a doll and playing with the doll on the counter. Closed shut case. Donuts on me. He's not kissing ass because he wants to make detective one day.
Kid wanted to get with Aunt. Aunt refused. Said it's not like that. Kid gets jealous, hammers her, throws her out the window. Grabs the doll, sets it up, makes it look like the doll did it for an alibi. Open and shut case, right? That's what he would say.
This is a real smart.
What did they rule it? What did they rule it at?
I have no idea. Suicide.
I'm like, I didn't know. I think it's funny because I've seen this movie a million times. I probably should have did a refresher.
They haven't ruled it as anything yet. I mean, but the only person who is there is Andy, right? So I mean, they're not trying and convicting a 6-year-old. Right now, like just at the scene of the crime, but they're documenting everything that he's saying right now.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden a doctor just shows up. Excuse me. This kid should go to a psychiatric ward.
The mom's super pissed, because he's saying that it is Chucky that was up there, and she's like, no, this is a doll, this is plastic, and this and that, and yeah, and she even kind of waits by the door after to see what happens, and she's like, see, I told you she wouldn't believe me. And and he sees the mom still there, sees her shadow, and then does the doll voice, and yeah, Andy's just this crazy, insane little 6-year-old.
Oh, gotta get him committed.
I mean, man, she had to think that he was a psycho when he said that. Chucky said that Aunt Maggie was a real bitch and got what she deserved.
Yeah, like I said, the kid's a good actor. For whatever age he is in this film, I think he does a terrific job of stumbling and being scared in some of the scenes and just delivering some stuff with, for being that age, it's pretty good stuff. So
yeah,
I thought that was good.
Yep, it is.
That's some funny stuff though.
And Chucky's smart. He's too smart.
Smarter than a 6-year-old.
And this is kind of crazy though. Like after like a crazy traumatic event, like probably should have stayed home from school. You know, I'm not saying you need to stay home for like a while, but you can't even stay home for one day after a crazy traumatic, event like that.
Mom got to work.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's what it is, right? Yeah.
They didn't even have a funeral for the aunt or anything. Like, I don't know. They don't address any of that stuff.
Yeah, kind of messed up. And there's multiple kids coming there with good guy dolls. Like as he's walking in, I mean, you see other kids, they're all coming to school with the good guy. And man, I mean, Chucky's got him trained already, goes in school. He's like, all right, kid, we're going out the door. Getting on the train.
We're ditching.
And man, they're going all the way across town on the train and everything. And nobody's even like looking at this kid or anything. Just like a little 6-year-old, just, on the train. It's okay.
No problem.
And they go to I'm assuming they live somewhere in the inner city, like maybe close to like downtown. Like it seems like that's where like, her, the department store was at where she's living. But they go out to like the slums right now. They go out to a real shitty part of town, a lot of abandoned buildings, nothing but projects. And
real like Chicago.
Yeah, they were out in the Chirac at this point. Yeah. But where'd they say they were going to? 47th Street. Nothing but projects around there.
Yeah, for real though. That's crazy because like it is funny though because he's just like smooth. I think like I wouldn't fuck with a kid that had that doll with him. That doll was scary regardless if I knew it was a demonic possessed. Just the good guy doll. But see, and I think that's the thing that strikes people. Period, because that like what I'm saying. Me as a kid, I was scared of dolls, but maybe I don't know what came first, the chicken or the egg. Whether chicken didn't scare me first or not. The dolls was freaky, bro.
Yeah. Hell yeah. And this is where, you see the diversity in people because right when he gets off the train, it's, it's homeless central, right there under the bridge and everything. They got the little trash can fires and all that going on. And yeah, nobody, it would just be weird to see a little like little white 6-year-old like
this kid is hard, bro. And the kid, he doesn't even know anything either because he's just doing what Chucky's telling him. Like, don't even trip, kid. Nobody's gonna notice us.
Like, hey, what you doing?
For real.
And why did he? Okay, so then when they find the place where they're supposed to be, he takes like pretty much the longest piss like ever, but like. He was just real self-conscious. Like he couldn't have Chucky like right by him when he was going piss. He was like, hold on, Chucky, you hang out here. I got to tinkle. And then he was gone. He goes over to the abandoned house where Eddie Caputo's at.
He's like, maybe he didn't want the kid to see what he was about to do.
But yeah, it's a real grimy spot. Whole abandoned building that he's like sleeping in and rats all over the place. And then he starts hearing the little pitter patter of the feet. Like, man, everyone gets freaked out hearing the footsteps.
That's funny.
First thing Chucky does though when he comes in there is turn on the stove and turn on the gas. And Caputo, he's sleeping with that gun like just right next to his head. So as soon as he hears something, he's got the gun. He's up. He's ready, and just starts shooting. Like, I don't know, doesn't even see anything, just hears like little footsteps. And I don't know if like, I wonder if would he be shooting at rats like that? Because there was rats, in the house. So I wonder if like he heard a rat just run.
I mean, he's at a high state of paranoia anyway because he's on the run. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He's trying to be docked in the cuts. You know what I'm saying? He probably ain't slept for days. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? He's probably doing drugs, I would assume.
And this is obviously the known hideout, at least for him and Charles Lee Ray, because he knew right where to find him.
Exactly. And probably no one else knew, you know what I mean? I mean, shit. That's crazy when you have parts of the city that's run down like that and you just, you know what I mean? Motherfuckers be lamping.
Well, maybe Eddie knew also, some of the voodoo stuff, and he was just also paranoid about that. He's like, maybe, he's coming back to get me somehow, some way.
Yeah, because he probably refused to believe that he was gone, huh? He felt it.
I want to know though, what's up with Andy? Like, I mean, he watches a lot of TV. He hears a gunshot and he runs towards the gunshot.
It's white.
Like, because of TV.
White kid, bro. It's inherent. He's white. Heard the gunshot. What is it? He had to go investigate. It's just in him.
And he's yelling for Chucky, and that's what's crazy because doesn't Eddie Caputo know that Chucky is his?
I mean, but see, here's the thing though: is like he's Charles Lee Ray. I don't think anyone called him Chucky until he got up in that good guy dog. He's like, I'm Chucky. You know what I mean?
Well, I think they mentioned that Chucky's his known alias, like nickname.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
But they don't really use it.
The voodoo guy, I mean, he knew him as Chucky.
Oh, you're right.
But yeah, I mean, who knows what Eddie Caputo called him?
Let's listen, bro.
Derek said, when I lived in Philly, I was 5 years old. I would take the bus from Philly to New Jersey, and no one would bother me, so I understood it. I was walking around by myself and catching the bus all the time. I would never do that with my kids now, and nowadays, you could probably never do that. Yeah, for sure. I mean,
yeah, it's crazy because, I mean, I think I must have been 9 years old, and I was already getting the bus pass, and we're going everywhere, bro. We're going everywhere. Like we're in the next
all over
city.
town too, just like all over the place with my friends. Just
or riding bikes. We used to ride bikes for miles, bro.
Yeah.
Think about the much ground we used to cover, because you know what I'm saying. Like we wouldn't take the streets; it'd be like the cuts. Like where I live in the east side in Tino Valley, it's like a lot of creeks everywhere. So it's like a lot of the streets are like above the ground. You know what I mean? So it's like we would just be smashing through the creeks, bro.
Ninja Turtle style.
Yeah, for real though. Like. You might be like in a tunnel. It's probably like maybe 30 feet. Like you see the light, so it's not like just a hell of tagging everywhere.
Yeah,
motherfuckers are kicking in those joints, and then it just got overrun with bums these days. Like whole bum villages throughout the creek. Yeah, and it like smells when you get that like on a windy day. You're like, oh yeah, it's really homeless out there. You know what I mean? It's like the way it became like part of the weather. You know,
it's really homeless out today.
It's really homeless out today. Yeah.
This was super ridiculous.
Let me go get a handful of change, right? You just throw the change and just scatter it. I go this way.
And thing that's crazy is like that whole building, because he eventually shoots like right into the kitchen or whatever where all the gas is pouring out. Like, man, Andy ran like right by that. Like how do you get so lucky that like he didn't catch any part of that like blowing up building?
I mean, he's a professional, man. You know what I mean? And you know what's crazy too is like, how do we know the kid didn't go deaf right there too? That's a pretty big explosion. And like, okay, for a rundown building, I mean, I guess they were keeping the lights on and the gas, right?
And a lot of gunshots went off around this kid too.
Yeah, I guess only keeping the gas on for sure. Who knows if But yeah, pretty ridiculous. Yeah, because abandoned building definitely wouldn't have the gas on in there. But yeah, that's just one of those things that's wrong with the movie, right? But
you might have bought the building. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
But that is kill number 2 as
number 2, there it is.
Eddie Caputo, number 2. And then so then I mean it just cuts from that to the police station and the mom coming in, and the detective's like, you haven't gone to go pick up your son at school? Because she didn't know anything that was going on.
She's like, no, I'm just here. I'm assuming that he's still at school after hours or whatever it is.
Enter Child Protective Services.
Yeah, thanks.
And I wonder if that's even legal for them to like ask him questions and like stuff like that. Because he was asking him, how do
he was already being interrogated when like they cut to him or whatever, and there was no attorney present or whatever. The good guy doll's in the seat next to him.
The detectives are really. I mean, maybe because I'm nitpicking, and it's like, okay, if he came over, they're already on him because he came over like the hillside. I mean, not hillside strangler. That's Vallejo. What is his name? The Lakeshore Strangler, right? You know what I'm saying? But then I guess they did have the body, so they just think he's dead, but. It's kind of some fishy things going on, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because now with the Eddie Caputo, did they find the body too? They knew it was him, or it was just an explosion. He's just around.
They knew that he was dead, and but yeah, and I'm assuming they must have been. Andy just must have stayed there for when the cops came. Like I have no idea. Like, Why wouldn't Chucky
Maybe
just tell
Chucky
the
told him.
cameras?
Maybe Chucky was like, listen, the cops are going to show up, kid. You just don't say a thing. And we're best friends for life.
Yeah, because really, I mean, more or less, he's trying to frame the kid, right? Like, he's got to be the one.
Your friend to the end, Andy.
That's when it gets like real crazy. Is so I mean, they're getting interrogated, and the dude, the doctor or whatever, he's like, I've seen enough. He's gonna stay for overnight for evaluation or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And the mom, because Andy can't keep the doll there, so the mom takes the doll home.
Ugh.
She goes to throw away the box, and the batteries that were included in the box falls out.
And that's one of the most like the heart-dropping moments in the movie, because it's like, okay, like the adults know now. You know what I mean?
I'm
like,
sure that's when the screech in the score too.
And she gets really upset. And she like goes to like, she checks the batteries and he totally flips around his head. Hi, I'm Chucky. Want to play? And she drops him, falls underneath the couch. And then
it's hilarious though. It looks funny. Like, I don't know. To me, it's just like, it makes me laugh every time I watch it. He like, and she's like, and he hits the floor and he rolls. And
yeah,
it's like,
rolls right underneath the couch.
You know how they did shit like that? They had like actors little people, for lack of a better term, right? Is that what they is that the anyways but they would make everything bigger, so it's like they had a bigger couch, like the replicas of everything bigger, so and then they just blended the shots.
Nice.
But that's why it looks so, like, you know what I mean.
I thought they like pulled a doll on a fishing line or something.
I mean, they did a bunch of that too. They did a bunch of wire work and all that shit too, for sure.
And here's the most intense part of the movie, that's for sure. Because everyone was waiting.
Damn it, or else I'm gonna throw you in the fire.
You stupid bitch! You filthy slut!
Oh, shit. You can't. It's hard to strangle with those little arms.
Oh man, he's a savage.
The way he moves around too.
You stupid bitch.
Oh, that's so fucking crazy,
man.
Good stuff.
like it's funny because I laugh at it now as a kid.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, for sure.
Terrifying.
because that's the first time you ever see Chucky like be possessed. Like, I mean, it's all. Let me. How many minutes?
Scary face. His little face is scary.
So the movie is an hour and 27 minutes long, so pretty much an hour and a half. It took 45 minutes into the movie before you actually see him possessed. So that was a really big like buildup, for that, because we obviously know that he's possessed, and they still make you wait like half the movie before you get the actual reveal.
A lot of movies do that. I mean, like Jaws, you didn't even like see it till like the very end or whatever. So it's like I feel like a lot of directors go the route of doing that because it's scarier when you let the person imagine what's going on instead of actually showing it.
You know what's dope about the Jaws too is because like they act, the mechanical shark was so fucking cheesy looking. So then when they just ixnayed and just use like the little, what do they call it, the fin or whatever the fuck, they're like, oh shit, like that shit is creepy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're like, that's just in post production. They're just chopping down shit. Like, yeah, this how we gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? Trust me. Spielberg was like, yeah, watch this.
Yeah, it's more just having the music and the background noise and everything that just makes it like more elusive. Like,
oh, that was your kid? I
Yeah.
thought it was like
They're outside running back and forth.
He almost sounded like Nelson from The Simpsons.
What's that, little man? Come over here.
Like that, yeah.
You know what?
So now the mom, after she throws Chucky, he takes off. She can't catch up to him. He's just gone. And so this is pretty much what, like, why wouldn't he have just done this? Like from the get-go. Like, why did he need to find a family, to do this? He could have just went off as this doll, and been very, very stealthy.
It's easier. But see, you'd have to just be this random doll sitting around. Oh, hold on. Where's it at?
Yeah, I guess that's true. Yeah, I mean, but it's still, I mean, now he does it. Now everyone's on to him. Now he's just out there, right? Just some like random
he's
doll
out in
just running the street somewhere.
He's out in the open now. He don't give a.
And especially if he's going to the places where he would frequent anyways. I mean, he's frequenting some fucked up places anyways. You know,
he went back. He already visited his buddy's house or his old stash house or whatever you want to call it.
Trap house.
Yeah, trap house. There you go. And he's making his rounds. So I don't know.
And now
he's leaving too much for the detectives who are really stupid.
And then the mom, so I mean, she goes to find the detective. The detective doesn't believe her or whatever. And so it's funny, like, why would she? Like, nobody believes your kid. Like, why do you think they're going to believe you? Like, now. And it's funny because she's all super pissed. Fine, don't believe me then. I'm going to go look for him myself.
She's like, look, and she shows him the bite marker or whatever.
Yeah.
And then he's like, who did that? And she's like, Chucky did. And he's like, oh, here we go again, crazy lady.
That's fucked up because see, that's how Chucky has the out on everybody, huh?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
See, and at one point, I ain't gonna lie, maybe this is just me. If you were to insert me into any of these situations, I just shoot the doll right in the head. I didn't see X-Files and all the shit. I just like, listen, take the doll out. You know what I mean? The moment you pull that strap on that doll, he's gonna get real animated. You know what I mean?
Straight up.
Yeah.
And then, so she goes around pretty much. I mean, I'm just assuming it's all around like the place where she works, like somewhere around downtown, the little outskirts and all that. The guy tells her, the detective tells her not to go down there, rough neighborhood. She doesn't care. She's going down there and talks to a lot of people, can't find them. But then when she finally does, I don't know what she expected, like that she was going to find. She says, obviously, she doesn't have a lot of money. She's like, here, I'll give you the money. I just need to find out where you got this from and all that. And it's
yeah, it's not enough. She's like, take all I have. It's like, this ain't all you have.
Starts looking her up and down like a creep. About to force himself on her. Yeah, he's like, finds him and kicks him right in the nuts or knees him right in the stomach or something. Pulls out the gun. Like, oh shit, it's a cop. Like, who else wants to party? He's such a badass.
Who else wants to party?
Thinks he's such a badass.
I mean, he's flexing a little bit for the lady.
He got the info though.
You got a lot.
where he got the doll right outside the toy store, and then like he's like spooked, like right when he hears that, because he was there.
Ooh. Some burnout toy store.
Ooh. And all a lot of things are just starting to make sense here, because he definitely looks like he'd seen a ghost, like right after that.
Yeah, the mom even asked, she's like, what's wrong? What did he tell you? He said something. And he's like, nothing. I said nothing.
Kick them right in the nuts, though.
Yep.
Give them the right needle, right. Right, a twig and two berries. Give me the info.
Yeah. She goes home. He goes back, or he drops her off, and then he goes back to go pull Ray's file, and then I wonder how long he was actually like in the car. Like waiting for this payoff. Because when he comes back now, he gets to try to get his Lakeshore Strangler on. He's got like jumper cables,
yeah.
Yeah.
Because he knows, he's like, I gotta get leverage in this thing. He was trying to get it. He couldn't just get it around the mom, huh?
They don't show him, bro, but I bet you he has like his full little feet extended.
Oh, yeah, I can see it, right?
And see, he could have easily had him too if he would have went with the knife, like right away. But he wanted to get the strangle though.
Mm-hmm.
He wanted to get the strangle.
That makes sense. That makes sense. He's like, I need to strangle.
He wants to get his laugh on.
Yep.
Nothing like a good strangulation to get the heart going, or he says something like that.
And then I just started strangling.
It's really ridiculous. This whole chase scene or whatever. Because at first, like he's driving and it's like he can't take his foot off. Like after he so strangling him for a second, but he, there's the old school cars with the little lighters or whatever in there. So he hits him with the lighter, gets him with the right on his face,
Oh,
he screams.
Looks like a ringworm.
I don't think before that he knew that he could get hurt. And and then he starts going through the seat with the knife and everything. And look, he can't. I don't know why he can't stop driving, or like hit the brake. Eventually he tries to, but then Chucky comes in and like
I was thinking about that. I was like, maybe he cut the brakes at like when he got off the car and then at the police station. But I don't know if maybe that's what Chucky got in.
He thinks he can't get hurt at that point too. He's like, yeah, crashed the car.
That would have been the only time. But then he would have had to been already like chilling at the police station, Chucky. And I don't know how he would have gotten there.
I mean, Chucky's like surgical with his shit. Like he's the type that like smooth, be waiting under like a couch. You know what I mean? Just cut your Achilles off. Now you
he's one of those Achilles guys. I saw that. He did a lot of
he's
calf
one of those
stabbing.
Achilles guys. Now you down to his size. What's up? And then you know what I mean? That's a move right there.
He's got to be about like 3 feet maybe tops.
Something
I don't know. Maybe like
Chucky versus Leprechaun would kind
a
of be
yard.
a fair fight.
He's like a yardstick tall.
Yeah, not even yard. Yeah, he's
not even. He's maybe like.
There's no way he's 3 feet. He's like maybe like 2 feet.
Hold up, I got a yardstick right here.
He's like 32 inches.
Because when Andy's holding him up, he's like kind of about half his body. Andy's like maybe like 3.5 feet, maybe 4 feet.
This is a yardstick.
Andy might have been like 48 inches tall, maybe.
Yeah, no way. He's like 2/3 of that. He's like
36 inches right here. 36.
He's probably like this tall, maybe give or take. The head rate. It's a doll, so the head ratio to the body. Yeah, it's a little massive.
Chucky wasn't ready though because they flipped the car. Then he's on the ground, but he's got the gun still, hands all cut, wraps his hand up, but then shoots Chucky right in the shoulder. He got him good, and he took off.
I like when they shoot him because he's a doll. So he goes flying like.
That is kind of tight. I mean, right?
Well, he flies like 4 or 5 feet back, like anytime the bullet hits him.
Yeah, the motherfucker probably weighs, I don't know, a couple kilograms, right? I mean, in Europe, that's how they weigh it, right?
The metric system.
Yeah.
So there's no way that a cop would have actually gave like Charles Lee Ray's like address away. That's
when she's asking, right?
Yeah, where do you used to live? And gives her like the exact address. But I wouldn't go down there though. I wouldn't suggest going down there.
It was like Austin Powers should ask him 3 times, and like on the third one, he's like, fine.
She got persuasive behind the scenes. You know what I mean?
He gave it up pretty easy. He's not a good detective. He gave it up pretty easy. What do you think about his whole? So you said you didn't really watch it, Bogey, but do you remember his like apartment?
No. Well, he had like all kind of like paperwork and shit, and like all his little case files out and shit.
No. It's all all the paintings and shit on the wall.
Okay.
It's like the voodoo priest or whatever. Let's just.
Okay. You're talking about his apartment, Charles Lee.
Ray.
Yeah. I remember that shit. I thought you were talking about the detective department. Okay.
Ooh, that would have been a good title for one of them. Chucky's apartment.
Yeah.
Because real freaky little spot, you know. Got all the pictures, got like the different quotes from the Dembala, all over there. And the voodoo priest, like, you can tell he's pretty much like God to him, is the way that like he drew him. You got the Dembala, like all symbol with the snakes and all that.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good painting. Not gonna lie, whoever did that was top notch.
I mean, it was Charles Lee Ray.
Like the art person in the movie. Art director or whatever.
Yeah, I know. Don't break character again.
Yeah, then like a couple weeks, like, we need you to paint a voodoo priest, and we need Brad Dourif here and this other guy, and this other actor.
Okay. I mean, I always thought the composite sketch artists were like amazing to me because it'd be like, all right, so like he had like a mustache.
There's this one lady in particular she's really good and really famous for that, and her drawings have led to like over 1,000 arrests or some shit.
Dang.
Yeah, like she's real good at it.
That's crazy.
Yep.
She's like, all my life I just drew realism.
It's probably describing somebody to them, and they're doing it. They've never even seen the person. That's the crazy thing.
Yeah,
that's nuts.
I know.
So we get introduced to this voodoo guy, whoever's like the voodoo priest, and he's pretty much like, I mean, the way that he's painting him, yeah, like he's like the god, like he's taught Chucky everything that he knows.
Mhm.
And yeah, and so of course that's where
That was
Chucky's
his
gonna
teacher.
go.
And
Yeah,
his name's just
Master.
John. His name should have been something cooler.
Probably like a priest, right? That's like basically like a priest to him.
yeah,
Yeah.
shaman maybe.
Well, I mean, shaman's more is medicine. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
This
that's
is
true.
like religion. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Meet my
Or just
shaman
whatever
voodoo
the equivalent
priest,
would to be like a high priest or whatever. You know what I mean?
the great and mighty high priest, John.
in the voodoo religion.
And it is John too, because you know what I'm saying, in Haiti, the Haitians where like the voodoo came from, and like a lot of the French, so it's a lot of Johns and fucking Perrys, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about it like that. It's
Yeah.
Sean, not John.
Yeah, it's John.
And yeah,
That's
he
a
was
lot cooler
very
now.
he was very pissed with Chucky. I mean, he's scared to death when he sees him, and he's like, "You are an abomination." And because everything that he's taught him, he's using it for evil. He's
He's using the other side.
yeah,
It's twisted.
and yeah, it's crazy because
Oh, when the lights went out.
ooh,
Poltergeist.
and he
Polter-
said, yeah, he says he's gonna stop him. And he's
That's the
gonna
light, not poltergeist. Don't you?
Remember that? That was
Voodoo's
happening
on
in
me.
Vegas. Remember that was happening in Vegas?
Yeah, hell yeah.
yeah, fucking.
Well, because it had a bunch of us all that I'm pretty sure that, like, you know what I mean?
And every time I think of Poltergeist, it's a really scary movie too. Oh, not a poltergeist! Shit, son, what's a poltergeist?
He was hella funny in that movie, man. Look at my hand. It's my good hand.
It's my strong hand.
That's my strong hand.
Yeah, with strong hand. There's some good
man.
comedy Halloween movies. I saw that Hubie Halloween one a couple years ago. It wasn't that bad with Adam Sandler. Not
Okay,
bad.
Oh, word.
nice.
Yeah.
So this guy John, I don't know what he thought. He was like, "You're an abomination and you must be stopped." And he's gonna like go call the cops or something. Like there's a fucking possessed doll right in front of you, and that's what you're gonna do. You're gonna go call the cops. He goes the wrong way because Chucky goes and grabs the voodoo doll of himself. And see, and here's the thing that always like seemed weird because we think of voodoo and like a voodoo doll of only doing negative things, but like reasons why people would have a voodoo doll besides things like that would be like healing themselves. That was like one of like, part of the voodoo religion is you have a voodoo doll, you have issues, you can heal yourself with the doll.
I didn't think about this too. That dude, John, for all we know, was like 200 years old.
He could have been.
Just taking care of himself with the voodoo doll.
He taught him the ways of the Dembala and transferring the souls.
He sure did.
He had to go and he's like, "I will never tell you," because he needed Chucky needed to figure out a way
how
to
do I
of
get
the
out of
body.
this shit?
Because, oh yeah, that's right. I'm sorry. I was just like hijacking it. Go ahead.
But yeah, so he runs towards the phone. Chucky runs and grabs the voodoo doll and breaks his leg, breaks his arm, gets the information. Like, why did he even tell him anything? He knew he was gonna die anyways, and he was like, you can only transfer your soul into the body of the first person that you let know that you were alive.
Oh,
that's the kicker right there.
shit, there's the kicker. He's like, God damn it, Andy.
Well,
So
he was excited. He was like, I've got a date with a 6-year-old.
I'm just saying though, like, you know what I mean? Like for years to come, you know. God damn it, Andy.
Little did he know it wasn't going to be that easy, huh?
No.
Oh man. And yeah, so that's it. That's number 3. That is number 3 for Chucky. He's just not getting more notches
Now
on.
entered the serial. Someone look at the definition of serial killer. What defines it as far as kills go? Is it 2? After
It's
2,
3.
or is it the 3rd?
It's got to
I'm
be
pretty
3.
sure
And
after one. After 1, you should be declared one. I think you're pretty crazy if you're like.
if there's no pattern and they don't know it's you, is that still a serial killer? I mean, that's not a serial killer. A serial killer has to like leave a pattern. That way, it's the same killer, right?
There's some psychological aspects to it. Because, like, you know
I'll
what I'm
do-
saying? They say a lot of fools in the hood be serial killers, bro, because they start shooting and then just, they get, you know, now it's like nobody can fuck with them and then they just smoke it. That's how it is. Like in Chicago, even, like, speaking of Chicago.
I wonder if they find out spelling cereal the other way, like the one you eat.
Yeah. And now, freaking, so now he's got to find Andy. And I guess he knew. He was at the police station, not really the psych ward, but I mean, you know, I guess that's neither here nor there. Not too tough to find either way. And Andy sees like Chucky running up the stairs, and that's when he's like screaming, like, "Help! He's coming to kill me!" And he starts screaming and crying, and they just like,
that's creepy. That's another one of
away.
Those little people in a suit, but it looks creepy.
Yeah.
They show Chucky running up the
It
steps.
looks more creepy when he's on the stairs, right? When it is like an actual person.
I wonder if they had like giant stairs for that, because like I said, they were doing like replicas of certain.
I don't think
you can tell that's a big ass person, like
a big little person.
I mean, it's still a little person, but you know what I mean. It's like way bigger than the doll.
All right, I got the definition.
That's what they said. They had like that's what I'm saying. They had whole scenes, beds, fucking couches. You know what I mean? Just sets like enlarged for some of those.
Probably the inside the house stuff for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
I got serial killer right here. A serial killer, also called a serial murderer, is typically a person who murders 3 or more people, with the murders taking place over more than a month and including a significant period of time between them.
Okay.
And then it can extend to like 4 or lessen it to 2, depending on the situation, right? But it's typically 3 or more.
But for the sake of it, he has reached serial killer in
doll form.
Yeah, in doll form. Look at them.
For sure.
He's racking up all the accolades. And I know it sounds terrible when I say that, but see, you got to remember, Chucky is fucking famous, man. Like, we are showing appreciation to the Chucky lore tonight with part 1 that started it all.
Hell yeah. So Andy, a little quick-witted. I mean, he kind of figured out a way to make it look like he broke out, knowing that Chucky was about to be in there. And then when Chucky comes in there, he like goes to the end of the bed where he thinks he is, and then nope, Andy's out of there.
He did the old switcheroo.
Yeah, I don't know what.
Also, when Chucky gets on the bed and like pulls the sheet back and he's about to like stab him or whatever, that looks creepy because it's another person actor doing it.
And they're in some, I mean, looks like an x-ray room or like something. Apparently a lot of things happen in here and crazy, like, including like the shock therapy. And that's just like insane.
The 80s,
man. Yeah. And he turned that voltage all the way up to high after he put that hat on him, and man, he was done.
That's the part where Andy also impresses me as the kid acting. And he's like, stop, and he stumbles backwards and falls, and he looks genuinely
super
scared.
freaked out.
Yeah.
Super freaked out. And so that's kill number 4 for Chucky. Right there. Kill number 4.
Forgot about the doctor already. 4. That was fast. He's starting to stack these up pretty quick here.
See, I guess the thing that I was always like, at least after this part, there's a lot to be left to the imagination, because Chucky and Andy were in the same room at the same time, you know, but then it's like Andy's like, he bounced. He got out of there somehow. And without Chucky, I mean, without Chucky, pretty much. Like, and
of course, he's going straight home, and apparently, you know, tackling the mean streets of Chicago with Chucky, he knows how to get on the transit and get home. Man.
Yep, Andy's super resourceful as a 6-year-old.
I told him where to go in case of an emergency. Like, I don't know, whatever. Like, she reveals that later to the cops.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I mean, he can, I guess. Just travel the city. Like Derek said, I mean, back in the day, you know, wasn't that big of a deal, I guess, as it is today.
Yeah, I mean, this is the 80s we're talking about here.
Man, we done got around hella places when we was kids, bro.
For sure.
In the 90s, so, you know what I mean?
Yep.
So Andy makes it home. And, you see him. He starts putting things in front of the door. One of the parts that I always laughed at was when that old couple, like, gets on the elevator. It's like, someone left their doll. And like, what an ugly doll.
Yeah, ugly doll. I'm surprised he didn't have like a snappy one-liner after the elevator started moving again or something.
Well, he did. He was like, "Fuck you."
Oh, that's right, he did.
Because he's got the big ass burn mark, from the lighter,
cigarette lighter.
He's just, hey, Chucky's just a trotting along, huh? He's like,
Crispy said, "Chucky, that's rookie numbers." Exactly. Well, see, I got to leave room to go up, right? You gotta.
I mean, this is the beginning of it all, Dad. He has a whole series.
It's like it's not even a sequel yet.
Yeah, the sequels, the body counts are always bigger.
Come on.
Which one's the one where he pops out of the factory at the end of the box? Is that part 2?
Yeah, number 2. Yeah.
That one has a lot of kills.
I always hated how they blew his head up like that. It was so cheesy, but it was so badass when he jams a knife in it. Oh,
yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, this one's still a little tame compared to the other ones. It definitely got a little more.
Well, I mean, like you said too, even before the reveal, right? Like the big, actual reveal to the bomb. It was like just like it's creepy. Just you know what I mean?
They had the creep factor
nuance of it.
They love doing the POV shots in there, and that's always when it's creepy because it's like his little pitter patter feet at the same time.
Everything's at knee level.
Mm-hmm. He's armed. He got some type of blunt object or knife.
Mm-hmm. Always had a knife, little knife.
Me too. I used to call it a PP shank.
I'd just be somewhere and like you need one. Like we'd be hanging out outside and somebody needs to cut something open or like they're about to barbecue. It's like, man, I wish I could cut this chicken real quick. I was like, here you go.
Nice.
Just always have one.
Yeah, I had a leather belt and I had a little thing in the back of the belt. I used to hide like sacks in there and shit, but then there's one I used to hide a little knife in there.
Derek,
just in case.
Salute on Twitch, you the man, Derek.
Chucky knew what was up. He always had a little knife on
that big. The knife, you just pull it up.
And I think this is a good part to leave it off going into act number 3, because act number 3, pretty much the showdown. Now Andy's going home. Chucky's on the way over there. The mom and the detective are on the way over there as well. So we're going to wrap up act number 2.
Yeah.
And make sure you go subscribe to the audio version of the podcast, Silver Screen Breakdowns on Apple, on Spotify, and everywhere that you get your podcasts. And make sure you leave us a 5-star review. Peacock, let them know.
Cool. You can find me at neonpeacockmerch.com and check out all my cool gear, like some of the artwork that I got behind me. Right now I got a sale going on, so scope it out.
And hang out here because we are not leaving. And Bogey, let them know.
Yes. Hold on to your seats because we're hitting you with Act 3 of Child's Play Part 1 on the Silver Screen Breakdowns. Will Chucky be the proud new owner of a 6-year-old Andy body? Will the detective and the alleged crazy mother stop him in time? Tune in next time.
Peace out. Peace out.
Yes.
Silver screen, motion picture shit. This ain't a dream, we really lit this shit. Don't intervene, yo, we with this shit. That's where the most high, we the most lit.